Nicole. For those of you who don't know me, I can see some familiar people online. So thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to be talking to you today about everything essential oils for babies. So I've got a few recipes that you're going to be able to take with you and you know, try yourself. Remember, these are things, or these are recipes and things that I do for myself, and you are going to be able to substitute any of the essential oils to make them, you know, more beneficial for your baby. But we'll talk about that as we go. So first of all, I just want to give you a little bit of an introduction to let you know my journey into essential oils, I guess, and where I started. So I've been with doTERRA now for just short of 2 years. It'll be 2 years in June. And at the time, I was looking for something a bit more of a health alternative, I guess. I wanted to make my home chemical free, and I wanted to use more natural things on my kids. I've got a now 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. So, you know, going back, they were 1 and 3 when I started. And I just wanted to find, yeah, something that was more of a natural alternative. So I did some research and came across doTERRA. I had previously been introduced to it a couple of years prior to that, but it just wasn't the right time for me, and I wasn't ready to make that change. So I got into doTERRA and I started using the products and really, really loved everything about them. So much so that I went from using them on my family to now I use them on my clients. I'm also a doula and a hypnobirth practitioner, so I'm working with pregnant mums and babies all the time. So I needed something that I could trust to use on my clients. So I've gone from using them personally and now I use them in my business. And now I'm fortunate enough, I guess, to be able to educate, you know, others on how to use them safely. And we're going to go through you know, what is an essential oil and how to use them safely. And especially for our little people, we do have to be very careful because these are very potent substances and they're very powerful. So hopefully you'll be able to take a lot away from today. And at the end, I do have a little survey. It's only very short. It's only 4 questions just to get your feedback and find out how you enjoyed it and, you know, what we can improve on next time. So here we go. So what is an essential oil? And this is, I guess, very, it's very broad for a lot of people. We see essential oils in the shops and we know that it says 100% pure essential oil. But what is it? And I'm going to go into the differences between the essential oils soon. So it's actually a natural aromatic compound found in plants. They're steam distilled or cold pressed to extract the essential oils. And the way the essential oils are actually extracted is determined, or their potency, sorry, is determined by that. So you may get an essential oil in a shop that says 100% pure essential oil, but the extraction process might not be the same as, you know, another company. So it differs greatly. There are huge health benefits by using essential oils and they're very, very powerful. We don't get many side effects from them, but it's very important to know that, you know, some people do have a reaction to certain oils, and that may be because they could be allergic to, say, a lavender plant or a peppermint plant or something like that. So we can't say that they don't give us any side effects, but very few side effects. And the reason that they have very little side effects is because they are all natural. Okay, there's nothing synthetic in these particular oils because they're extracted directly from our plants. If you believe that our bodies are perfectly designed to heal themselves, okay, then these essential oils help our body in this process. We can take them internally, and I'm going to go through that, you know, all in a moment. But when we are using an essential oil, our body goes, hang on a second, I know what to do with that because it's natural. There's no synthetics or fillers or toxins or anything included in that. I actually know what to do with it. So I'm going to start, you know, fighting what I've got. Quality of essential oils. Now, this is where I was just talking about the difference between ones that you buy, say, in a chemist or doTERRA's essential oils. So doTERRA have an internal quality assurance program, and it's called CPTG. So that stands for Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. Excuse me. Synthetic versions of essential oils don't interact with our bodies the same as what true pure essential oils do. Okay, pure essential oils like doTERRA's, they look and react differently in the body on a chemical level. If you've got a synthetic constituent within your essential oil, so just say you have a lavender bottle and you've got 1% of the pure lavender in that bottle, and then the rest of it's made up with synthetic version, the chemistry is incomplete and you lose the effectiveness of that essential oil and what it can do, and you increase your chances of side effects. And that's where you hear people have had, reactions. They may have had a skin reaction, or, they may have broken out in hives or got a bit of a rash from an essential oil because they've put that directly on their skin and they haven't realized that that particular essential oil is not 100% pure. Okay, globally, to be classified as 100% pure essential oil, they only have to contain 10% of the botanical. So that's a bit scary to think that, well, what's that other 90% made up of? And we're not sure. What I can tell you is with doTERRA's essential oils, that bottle that you're getting is 100% extracted from the plant. There's been no added fillers, there's been no synthetics at all added to that bottle. And so that's why they came up with their CPTG standard. Okay, they're pure. I've just said that there's no artificial ingredients, fragrances, or fillers. They're safe. They are certified to be free of all the pesticides and all of the other chemicals that you do find in other oils, and they're very potent. So why use essential oils? They've been around for thousands of years. We can use them for all of these reasons: anti-inflammatory, as an antioxidant, a decongestant, digestive issues, a stimulant, antifungal, antiseptic, and that's really good for kids. A whole range of different reasons. So they've been around for a very, very long time. It's just that, in between that time, we've then had other things come in that we tend to rely on. So I guess it's going back and trusting that, these oils are very potent and powerful, and they do work. So why use essential oils? As you can see this picture, there's a virus within a cell. Okay, the virus is in the middle and it's protected by an outer membrane, and you've got bacteria on the outside. Now, essential oils can actually penetrate the cell membrane and eliminate any threats, and that's what makes them so powerful. The plants produce the essential oils. So if I just duck back to one of the previous slides, you can see up the top that's the purple picture. That's actually a picture underneath a peppermint leaf, a peppermint plant. So the oil sac is underneath the leaf. Now they're so minute we can't see them with our naked eye. This is under a microscope. But what actually happens is the plants produce these essential oils to fight threats like mold and fungus and viruses and bacteria. So if the essential oil can do that for the plant, then they work exactly the same way for us. Okay, so if we've got any viruses and things, they're working on that same level. So how do we use essential oils? There's 3 different ways that we can use them. We can use them aromatically, so you can diffuse them. Diffusers are great. Now the difference between, while we're on the topic of diffusers, difference between a diffuser and a vaporizer or a humidifier is that they produce a cool mist. There's no heat, there's no condensation, so your little ones aren't going to get if they're a bit phlegmy. If you're using a warm vaporizer, it produces a lot of, your walls get condensation of them and start dripping with the water. So that's actually going into their lungs. With a diffuser, being a cool mist, it's emitting or producing little tiny water particles but it's not moistening the air like a vaporizer is, and it's cool. So we always diffuse essential oils, we never add heat to them. And the reason for that is because you're going to affect any of the therapeutic benefits of the essential oil as soon as you add heat. So, you know, you don't put them in oil burners or vaporizers and things like that. You can sniff them, you know, a good way for adults, we rub them in our hands and we inhale the, you know, the aroma from our hands. Or you can have a spray bottle. I actually spray my kids. I've got a nice lavender with some distilled water in a spray bottle, and I'll spray that on their faces on a hot day. So there's lots of ways, you know, that we can do it, but we're going to go into that. So using your essential oils aromatically, it helps to open the airways, it helps with your moods, to lift moods, and it purifies the air. I actually have 7 diffusers in my house and they're all going fairly constantly. The other one that we can use essential oils is topically. Now, very, very effective way to use it. I should point out that if you're going to be using them topically, aromatically, or for yourself ingesting, we don't ingest for children, but I'll go into that soon. You're going to get the same benefit no matter which way you use it. It's not that if you diffuse, you're going to get less benefit. Okay. Topically is a really nice way to use for babies though, with infant massage after a bath or in the morning. It's, you know, put a bit of essential oil in some coconut oil or fractionated coconut oil and give them a nice massage. You're not only bonding with your baby by using touch, but they're getting the therapeutic benefit as well of the essential oil, depending on which one you're using. When we're using these oils topically, back of the neck is great, over the heart, on their feet. Our feet have the biggest pores. So if we want an oil to get into the bloodstream the quickest, we go straight to the bottoms of the feet. And the feet is a really good place to apply essential oils for children. And we can use them internally. Yes, you did hear that right. We can use them internally. Only these oils. I would never say, you know, if you bought a different brand of essential oil, I can only talk about doTERRA's. And that's purely because that we know how pure they are. So you can ingest them, not for children no under 11, definitely not under 6. So for when we're talking about babies today, we're not talking about ingesting them at all. But for yourself, you can definitely put them into a capsule, put them into your water bottle, and take them internally on a daily basis. All right, just a few safety pointers. They are very safe and gentle. You know, we do say they're potent, but they're still very safe and gentle. We just need to remember a few different things. We never put them in our eyes, ears, or nose. So don't get an essential oil bottle and, you know, put a drop into an ear or that sort of thing. We've got very sensitive mucous membranes in those particular areas and we don't want to damage them. So if you do have to, if there's a bit of pain in an ear or, somewhere around an eye, you can dilute that with your fractionated coconut oil and rub on the outside. It's still doing the same job. Always dilute with a carrier oil, especially for babies. Okay, I talk a lot about fractionated coconut oil. That is purely because it's not as greasy as your cooking oil. That doesn't mean though that you can't use coconut oil, almond oil, avocado oil, any of your olive oils and whatever you've got in your pantry. You can use anything. It's just that they're a little bit greasier. Fractionated coconut oil is, well, a fraction of the oil, but it's also gone through a process to extract that oil, and you just need to make sure that it's a good quality one. There is, some people do get skin sensitivities that I previously mentioned, and babies, they are very sensitive, so we do need to keep that in mind. And there's certainly oils that we wouldn't use. For example, oregano, it's a hot oil. I wouldn't even use that on myself. Okay, I would use that internally with a capsule. So we don't apply those sorts of oils directly to the skin. But all the oils that we're talking about today, for babies in particular, we can apply them directly to their skin, diluted with the coconut oil. Always follow the label directions on every bottle of doTERRA essential oil. It tells you how you can use it, whether it can be ingested for dietary benefits, whether it's to be used aromatically, or whether you can use it on your skin. So always make sure that you follow the directions on the labels. Okay, we've got 4 different categories of essential oils. So not only are they great for our babies and our kids, but we can use them as a whole family. And that's what I said at the beginning. I have gone through, and in the beginning, I started using them on myself only while I got to learn about them. And then from there, my kids and my husband now use them on a daily basis. And I have my kids saying to me, Mummy, you haven't put my diffuser on, or you haven't, put On Guard on my feet, or you haven't done this, you haven't done that. So I've actually changed their way of thinking. So this is a whole family, I guess, natural makeover. It can be used on everyone. And it's to help support them in these 4 areas. So relaxation and stress relief, muscle and pain relief, digestive health, and skin health. So let's get started on all of the oils. Now, there's obviously a lot of oils that I could talk about, but when I was putting this webinar together, I went through what I use on babies and with my clients, and I wanted to share with you, I guess, the most used oils, and so that you can get the most out of these particular oils. And this isn't, when we're talking about babies, these are really great for babies, but as I said, and I'll try and mention as we go, how I can use them, in other ways for myself and my kids as well. So if you've got any questions I didn't add either, please type them in the chat area and I'll answer them as we go, or we do have time at the end for a question and answers. Okay, so lavender or lavender piece. Now, lavender is just straight lavender. Your lavender piece is a blend, so it's a bit sweeter because it's got a bit of vanilla in it. Beautiful, beautiful blend. It's one of my favorites. They've both lavender based, very calming, and it helps to promote relaxation and a restful night's sleep. I often get asked, my baby's not sleeping or my children aren't sleeping. What can I do? Lavender is one of those go-to oils for that reason. In saying that though, everyone is different, and what works for me or one person might not necessarily work for you. So just bear that in mind. But as a base, lavender is perfect. You can apply this topically to your baby, massaging on the bottom of their feet, on their back. Great for after a bath. Okay, before you're dressing them, put a bit of fractionated coconut oil over their bellies, rub it in a clockwise direction. You're bonding with your baby, they're relaxing, they're getting the lavender into them, and it's just a really nice time, and something that's really nice to put into your routine. Massaging on their feet, as I said, and putting a drop on their pillow, or babies don't have a pillow, sorry, in their cot, just where they're going to be lying, so that they're getting that aromatic benefit as well. Helps with anxiety and very gentle on their tummy. So another great oil if your baby's a bit separation anxiety, and they don't go through that as a newborn, but they do start to go through that as they get a little bit older. I'm actually using lavender on my son at the moment for kindy. He gets a bit anxious and he doesn't want me to go. Since I've been applying lavender on his tummy, different child. I also use lavender in the bath. So putting lavender into your baby's bath is another good way to expose them to it and get that calming effect. Now, for newborn babies, they don't actually need to be bathed. Okay, you don't have to bath them at all. They're not smelly because they're not doing any activities. They're not crawling, they're not eating, they're just being cuddled. So you actually don't need to bath your baby straight away. Same as when you've had your baby in hospital. If you're pregnant and you're having your baby, you don't need to bath your baby while you're in hospital. So just bear that in mind. We want to try and keep all of that Vernix on them for as long as possible because that's their natural skin protection. But if you do want to bath your baby, then avoid using soaps. You can use your lavender. Put it into a tiny bit of milk, about a teaspoon of milk, a few drops, put it in with some fractionated coconut oil or cooking coconut oil into the bath and run the bath and bath your baby in that. I use that on my kids every single night, no soap. So, you know, and you can add other oils as well. You could add frankincense, which we're going to talk about. Speaking of frankincense, it's the next one. Frankincense is liquid gold. Okay, yes, it is an expensive oil, but if you had no other oil available to you, then frankincense would be the one to use. It's your go-to oil. It helps reduce stress. It helps in the bonding experience between parents and baby. As soon as a baby's born, you can apply frankincense to it. And Stephanie Fritz, who's a registered midwife and aromatherapist in the US, and you can follow her on Facebook, she's fantastic. She applies frankincense to the crown of a newborn baby and down the spine. And that just allows baby to feel like everything's okay, they're safe. Because you think about it, when they've been birthed, they've come into this world and they've got no idea what's going on because they've been so cozy in the womb. So frankincense just helps to calm them. You can apply to the bottom of their feet to also help with relaxation. And you can mix with coconut oil to help with any sort of dry skin. So I always say, when in doubt, get your Frankie out. It is one of those liquid gold oils. It's a wood oil. It actually comes from Oman. And it comes from the root of the tree. So it's got very long lasting effects. Very, very powerful oil. Okay, balance. Balance is a daily use oil for us in this household. It just helps to ground you. So we all get it on our feet every morning, kids included, straight onto their feet. You can apply directly to your baby's feet on a daily basis. It's also really good to put into the diffuser, excuse me, to neutralize any odors and to elevate the mood. It's not an oil that's going to boost your energy and give you lots of energy, but it's a bit of a mood lifter. So yeah, a really nice one to diffuse during the day. Also quite nice to diffuse in the baby's room of a night time. Put a bit of lavender. Okay, you're getting that grounding effect, but also that relaxation effect too. Myrrh. Now I put myrrh in the webinar. It's not one that I use a lot of. It is an expensive oil, but it's 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 a it's a beautiful oil. Great when the baby's born to apply to the umbilical cord. It protects all the systems of the body and it actually works as a band-aid. Okay, so it seals it. So although it's not a daily use oil, it's got a lot of benefits. And I'm not going to talk too much about myrrh because it's not one that I wouldn't go out and buy myrrh now, you know, if I was going to start buying oils because of its price. But if you've already got a collection of oils and you're looking for something else, then myrrh is really great if you're about to have a baby, and it works on all levels as a liquid band-aid effect. So that's not just with an umbilical cord, that's with anything. So it is a good oil to have on hand. Okay, digestin. Digestin it's a blend. It's got peppermint and a bit of aniseed in it. So it's really great to help ease tummy pains. Okay. If you don't have digestin though, you can actually use fennel. It does the same thing. So if you've got a baby that's non-stop crying or pulling their legs up or their belly's really tight, you just can't settle them, then a bit of digestin with some fractionated coconut oil and rubbing on their tummy may support, you know, what they're going through and help with those pains. As I said, digestin or fennel, you might have some luck with. Helps with, you know, if we're not talking about babies and we're going on to our kids or even ourselves, if you're feeling a bit nauseous, okay, bit bloated, a bit gassy, digestion on the tummy as well. Peppermint also works on the same level. And as I said, what works for one may not work for another. So sometimes digestion works for me, but other times I have to pull out my peppermint. Once again, making sure with this oil that we dilute for our babies. Okay, peppermint. Peppermint is it's one of my favorites. Actually, I think it's one of the oils that I first smelt when I got into doTERRA. It's divine. I use it in all my cooking and everything. Peppermint chocolate and peppermint bliss balls and peppermint cakes and raw cheesecakes and all sorts. So I use peppermint a lot. It helps balance body temperature. So if you're trying to help your baby or children to balance their body temperature, then it's great on their feet. If you don't have peppermint, you could also try patchouli, and they work very similarly. Patchouli is probably a little bit softer than peppermint because peppermint has that, I guess that burn, not as in it's going to burn their skin, but it has that heat factor. So you could try patchouli for the same reason. Okay, so I've spoken about a few oils, but what I've done in the next part of this webinar is to just go through a few different things that your baby might come across. And here I'm going to talk about recipes as well. So if you've got any questions, make sure that you type away. So ear pain, excuse me, always dilute with a carrier oil. And I know I keep saying that, but it's so important. We need to make sure that we're diluting. It's not diluting the potency of the oil, it's just diluting the area that you're covering on your baby. Okay, Melaleuca, or in Australia we call it tea tree. So Melaleuca is the US name, tea tree is the Australian name, and we actually source tea tree from Australia, tea tree and eucalyptus. And basil. You can use either Melaleuca or basil, it doesn't matter, but these are two oils that will help with any sort of pain in the ears. So it helps soothe that area. You can rub it around the ears. So remember we spoke about not putting them inside the ears, but just rubbing around the ears, and either of these oils may support your baby in that area. Congestion, and this is something that we come across really often. It's very, very common, I guess, in all children. But I do get called up from clients, my baby's quite congested and it's a couple of weeks after birth, sorry. It is normal for a baby to be a little bit congested after going through the birth canal. They do get a bit of congestion and they swallow a bit of, everything, all that bacteria. So it is normal for them to have a bit of congestion, but you do have to be monitor babies closely. We don't want to, if you've got any concerns, make sure that you always go to your doctor and get checked out. But if, a little bit of a runny nose, a bit of congestion, then eucalyptus and lime are a fantastic combination. Lime is actually a really good one for any sort of congestion and to support respiratory issues. It actually softens the eucalyptus scent. So if you put, a few drops of eucalyptus and then a drop of lime, it's become one of our favourites in our household. Every night in the kids' rooms, whether they're congested or not, it's beautiful. So you can put it in the diffuser, or you can dilute in a carrier oil like your fractionated coconut and apply to their chest, back and feet. Okay, and it will do the same thing. So you might do one or you might do both, but it support both of those oils help support any of the respiratory issues. Teeth discomfort, very common. We all have to go through it and it can be extremely painful for them. And, we're always looking for something to try and help relieve them when they've got that discomfort. So if you're looking for a natural approach, then you can certainly try your essential oils. So Stephanie Fritz, who I mentioned before, is a registered midwife and aromatherapist in the US, and she's actually written a book, and it's called Essential Oils for Pregnancy, Birth and Babies, and there's a second edition out now. And she actually recommends to try white fur or clove, diluted once again and applied directly to the gums. Now, I personally haven't used essential oils directly on my children's gums, um, so it's up to each individual whether they want to try that or not. But that's just something that she recommends. Other oils that you could try are your tea tree, your Roman chamomile, and your frankincense. Now, Roman chamomile is not available at the moment. We could get it, and then the crop got wiped out. So we're waiting on Roman chamomile to come back, but that should hopefully be this year. You can also, for your teeth discomfort, rub around the jawline and behind the baby's ears to try and, relieve that discomfort. So, as I said, try, try different things and you'll find what works for your baby. All right, nappy discomfort. Once again, we see a lot of this. Um, red bots. So it's something that we're going to come across. If you're looking for something to try or something natural to try and help relieve that, then you can try your sandalwood or your myrrh in your coconut oil and wipe it over. Or you can look at your lavender, your helichrysum, immortal or tea tree as well, melaleuca being tea tree. You can make your own creams and sprays. So this is where I'm going to start to give you some recipes. So feel free to, well, actually don't take down any notes because I'll be sending you this. So you'll be able to go through and write it down later. But you can make up any of your own products and it's really, really easy. So the first one I've got for you is your Bot spray. So all you need is a glass spray bottle. Now we always put our essential oils in glass, and that's purely for the fact that the essential oils will break down the plastic otherwise. So whenever if you're going to put it in your water bottle to drink, if you're going to put a drop of lemon in your water bottle, make sure it's always glass. So a glass spray bottle, some fractionated coconut oil. The reason you don't use your normal cooking coconut oil in this spray bottle is because that goes solid. Okay, fractionated coconut oil will always stay a liquid and it's perfect for these spray bottles. And then you can add your tea tree and your lavender essential oil. So this is, you can add as many drops as you feel that you need. Label it, and then you can put that up, with all your other bits and pieces under your baby's change table. And you've got right there your Bot spray. Spray it on. Sometimes I used to spray it on when I was changing a nappy just to make it easier to clean. So you spray it on and then wipe it off. Or before you put in a fresh nappy on, just, give a couple of sprays. The next one I've got for you is a Bot Balm. So more of a cream, but it's beeswax. So I buy, once again, a glass jar. I buy organic shea butter and I get that online from Heirloom Body Care. And I make sure it's organic. I get the best quality beeswax that I can find. That's also purchased from Heirloom Body Care. So you can access that too. Anybody can shop there. And then I add whatever essential oils that I want to put in. I've just put in there frankincense, lavender, and tea tree. You can use, once again, any oils that you like. So the reason I chose those is because tea tree is like an antiseptic essential oil. Lavender is very calming and soothing to the skin, and same with frankincense. So I combine those. You could use geranium. There's a whole range of different oils that you could use, but I've tried to include oils that you're going to use more on a daily basis and make it easier for you. So expensive. So I started making my own, and it is a lot cheaper, funnily enough. I just buy the premium paper towel from Aldi, and I did buy a wipes container, a Tupperware wipes container. I splurged out and got one of them. Used 8 of each. You can use more or less. And your coconut oil. and it's only 2 tablespoons. Now you can use a cooking coconut oil in this because it gets melted, and if you do that, I recommend just 1 tablespoon because otherwise they get a bit greasy. So what I used to do, because of the size of the Tupperware container, it actually didn't fit the length of the paper towel I bought, so I did have to trim it. You might find something that fits. You can do this a couple of ways. You can concertina fold your paper towel. So I hope this makes sense. If you think about a paper towel where it gets torn off, I fold it in half to the tear off, and then I fold it back again. And I keep going through the whole roll. And then I used to trim. Sounds like a lot of effort, but it really doesn't take long. I then just trimmed the end so that it fitted into my Tupperware container. You put your boiling water into your container with your coconut oil and your essential oil, and then put your paper towel in there and then turn them over so that it gets soaked up both ways. Put your lid on and let it sit for a couple of minutes. Now, yes, adding your essential oil to boiling water, you are going to lose some of that therapeutic benefit, definitely. But I had to ask myself, is this still better? If I'm losing some of that therapeutic quality, is this still better than buying my wipes from the shop and having things in there that I don't know what's in there? And my daughter had really sensitive skin, so I had to be careful what I bought. So for me, that was, I didn't mind that. That was fine. So as I said, you can put any essential oil. I've done wild orange, I've done geranium, I've done On Guard, which is an antibacterial oil. You can do any combination, that you like. If you don't want a concertina fold your entire roll of paper towel, you could actually chop the paper towel in half while it's rolled up, so you keep it round, and take out the cardboard inner and do it that way. If you've got a cylinder container that you can pull them up through the middle, like your Pino Clean wipes, I guess, that come up through the top. So you can do it that way too, and that works fine. That was just the way I wanted to do it with a Tupperware container. So you've got, homemade nappy wipes at a fraction of the cost. And you can do baby powder. Very easy. All you need is cornstarch, corn flour, and a bit of doTERRA essential oil. Mix it all together, put it into a shaker, and you've got your homemade baby powder. No nasties. Nothing in there to affect your baby's skin. So easy. And you can do baby lotion. So you can add frankincense and balance, for example, and you can buy this lotion. The picture of the lotion that I've got here is actually, it is doTERRA. It's a big tube, it's quite cheap, and it's got no scent in it. It's just the cream base, and you add your own essential oils to that. So it's a hand and body lotion. So if you wanted it for yourself, you could squeeze a little bit into your hand, put a drop of your essential oil, and use it on legs after you've shaved. As a baby lotion, you could put it into a glass jar, squeeze a bit into a glass jar, put your frankincense and balance or whatever essential oil you're using, mix it around, put the lid on, and you've got your baby lotion right there. Natural, toxin-free, no additives, and you can use that after a bath, massaging your baby, doing infant massage. A whole body baby lotion. So once again, very, very easy. So I rambled for enough. Today's special offer for you. Now I've got three different packages for those people who don't have a doTERRA account. I'm giving you the chance today to set up your own wholesale account. Now, this is the premium package, so you'll get most of the oils that I've spoken about today. You get your frankincense, your tea tree, your lavender, your digestin, balance, eucalyptus, lime, one of these petal diffusers, which runs for 1, 2, or 4 hours, and you get your wholesale account, and that's $331 plus $12.95 postage. And you'll also get a free 5ml wild orange and a free 5ml peppermint. Now, the benefit of the orange, one of my favorite, use it in cooking, freshens the air, it's great for cleaning, it's really energizing and lifts your mood. So even if you put a drop on your hand and inhale it, you just feel amazing. And your peppermint, once again, cooking for me, the number one. Great as a mouthwash, put it on your toothbrush. It's also great for all your respiratory function and things like that, tummy upsets. So you get that for free. Now, the next offer is a starter package. So you're not getting as much, but the cost is a lot less. You're going to get your frankincense, and these are all 15 ml bottles. You're getting the full size bottles. Your frankincense, your tea tree, your lavender, your eucalyptus, your lime, and your wholesale account for $208 plus your $9.95 postage. And I'll also give you a free 5 ml wild orange. Or if you just want a base package to start with, then these are the ones for a baby that I would recommend. Your tea tree, your lavender, your eucalyptus, and your lime, plus your wholesale account for $122.50 and your $9.95 postage. So that gets you your own wholesale account. So you're saving 25% on all of your purchases, and it means it gets shipped to your home. I do have a lot of people that just buy direct through me, and that's fine too, but they're paying retail. So if you can save 25% and get it shipped to your home, you get ongoing support from myself as well. So don't feel that once you get oils and get started that you don't have access and think, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? No, you get access to me. You get as much help and support that I can give you. I get text messages all the time at all hours of the night. What can I use for this? Or, what do you recommend? Or what do I do with this oil? And that's fine. That's what I'm here for. So you're in control of not only your baby's health, but your whole family's health. And it's just up to you how you want to go about it. If you want to start including essential oils into your home. And if that's something that you want to do, then I'm more than happy to support you along that way. So I'm going to open it up now for some questions. And if anyone's got any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat. Or if you'd prefer to ask, so that everyone can hear you, I can unmute you. There's a little hand down the bottom. I can unmute you and you can actually ask your question and I can answer it for you. I should also mention too that the doTERRA essential oils are sourced from all around the world. So they don't just come from one particular country, which what makes them so potent. They're from all over the world. I think it's about 43 countries that they come from. So they're in the right climate and the right rainfall, right temperature, that sort of thing. So yes, I'm going to open it up to you now. If anyone has a question. I hope I haven't given you too much information overload. It's, there's a lot that I can talk about and there's a lot that I can say in a short amount of time. But I'm conscious of the time because it's nearly 20 past 1. So I hope, I have been trying to speed through it a bit. But if you've got any questions, please feel free to throw them at me. Okay, Leslie. So Leslie's asking for a body wash. I haven't actually personally tried making a body wash, but there are certainly lots of recipes out there. I would definitely include frankincense and geranium in that mixture, whatever you're going to make, lavender, frankincense, and geranium. And after a shower or a bath, I would be applying that onto your daughter's skin as well. You can put it into a spray bottle, make it up in a spray bottle, and just spray her back at the end of that with that mixture. That's a really good combination. I'm actually due to start experimenting with like a pump wash because everything I've done for my kids has been the same in the bath, and my daughter's now 5 as well, and you know they do want to start having showers, and after swimming lessons it's always a shower. So you know, experimenting with a pump wash, yeah, is my next thing that I'm going to do. Any more questions? Just while we're waiting to see if any more questions are coming up, if you, I don't know if you've been onto my Click webinar page to see my other webinars that are coming up, but feel free to go to that web address, lovenestnurture.clickwebinar.com, and you'll see all of my upcoming ones that I have. There are going to be obviously lots more added to it, but for now there's chemical free home coming up, there's cooking, I'm going to be doing a stress and emotions one, and digestive health one, so there's lots and lots coming up all the time. So feel free to go to that address and register for any webinars that you're interested in. Okay, I'm just going to put up a little survey. I hope that everyone can see that. If you wouldn't mind filling that out for me, that would be very much appreciated. And yeah, any more questions while we're waiting? I'll hang on for, another 5 or so minutes. If you've got any questions at all, just type away. Okay, so if there's no more questions, then um, that is the end. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you've gotten a lot out of it. I will be emailing the webinar out to everyone. So if you want to have another listen or have a look at the recipes, then you're more than welcome to. And if you wouldn't mind, please, doing the survey, the leave, that would be wonderful. I'd really appreciate that. But I hope you all have a lovely one or wonderful afternoon. And if you've got any questions, you can email me, nicole@lovenestnurture.com.au, or Facebook me. My Facebook page is LNN Essential Oils. Yeah, I'd love to hear from you.